Hi, for my final speech, I'm going to talk about the trial of O.J. Simpson. Here's my audience. I got my dad, my brother, my mom, my girlfriend. All right. So, for an overview of the case, on July 12, 1994, O.J. Simpson's ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman were both stabbed to death at their Los Angeles condo. O.J. quickly became a suspect as blood was found at his Brentwood estate. On June 17th, Simpson led police on a long, low-speed chase as he held a gun to his head in the back of a white Ford Bronco before surrendering to police. Simpson was formally arraigned on July 22, 1994, and a trial started on January 24th of 1995, prosecuted by Marcia Clark. Simpson was represented by a dream team of lawyers: Johnny Cochran, F. Lee Bailey, Robert Shapiro, Alan Dershowitz, and Robert Kardashian. So Simpson's defense was based on the mishandling of evidence and a widespread corruption of the LAPD. The defense brought everything into question. They challenged the handling of evidence, such as blood evidence that was stored in plastic containers instead of paper bags. Blood evidence was walked around for hours upon hours instead of taken right into the lab. And the spilling of Simpson's blood in the same lab that they tested samples, they cross-tested samples from the scene. This mishandling of DNA evidence allowed for the defense to raise suspicion into the police in their handling of evidence. The chain of custody. The defense dominated the people on the topic of handling of evidence. There was quote unquote missing blood that wasn't entered into the chain of custody for hours, and unauthorized personnel were handling evidence. The combination of these events allowed for the defense to bring into question everything the LAPD did, and continue the possible theory that Simpson was set up by the racist LAPD. Detective Mark Furman. During this time, the LAPD was under large scrutiny with accusations of being racist, especially after the Rodney King riots. Detective Mark Furman was a detective who had allegedly found the bloody glove at Simpson's house. When put on the stand, F. Lee Bailey grilled Furman, asking if he has ever used a racial slur to describe a black person. Furman denied having ever used such words. Tapes are later found in an interview where Furman described beating African Americans till their faces were mush and planting evidence, and also he used racial slurs, which he previously denied while under oath. Furman was brought back onto the stand and asked if he had ever planted evidence at Simpson's residence, and he answered by asserting his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. A famous line from the trial was, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." The prosecution still had the last hope for the prosecution was the gloves, and Chris Darden made the mistake of asking O.J. to try on the gloves. O.J. attempted to put the glove on in front of the jury, which was obviously the gloves weren't going to fit. Johnny Cochran had a famous statement saying, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." The verdict. On October 2nd, 1995, the jury went into deliberation for less than 4 hours. The verdict was in, and millions tuned in to watch on their televisions. The jury found O.J. Simpson innocent on all counts. And conclusion. The trial of the century showed many flaws in both the judicial system, in addition to the police force and laboratories. O.J.'s lawyers were able to point out the mishandling of evidence in laboratories and at crime scenes. The trial very well may have been the reason for the handling of evidence in the chain of custody is taken so seriously today. Thank you.